pet travel is a luxury. It's not a necessity unless you're leaving the country. One thing that is small but is huge is vets giving out-of-date vaccinations. A lot of clients don't even know the breed of their pet. That's actually a big misconception. A lot of people think we have to do worming for everywhere. The breed of your pet will determine the advice that I give and which direction we go. So I do need to know these details about the age, the weight. Just don't entertain it. I'm like, clearly this is not a service pet. You're trying to bring it in a bad way, so we don't help.
So there's some breeds that are banned from flying in the summer.
The most high risk is your Frenchies, Pugs, any Bulldog, Boston Terriers. They're kind of the highest risk.
I'm here today with Alison from Blue Sky Pet Relocations. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
So today we're going to talk about something that fills a lot of people with stress. But as per you a few seconds ago, it's not that stressful if you do it right.
No.
So we're talking about pet relocation and everything that comes with that. And you are an expert pet relocator.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this for?
I've been in Dubai for almost 8 years. So for the majority of that time, I've been doing pet relo. And I was also doing it in Kuwait for a couple of years before that as well. So
How did you get into it, actually?
when I was in Kuwait, my colleague, she handled the pet relo, and I was actually the head nurse at a big vet hospital there.
Oh, okay.
And then when she left, I kind of got moved into that role. And then I quite liked it, and then I just stayed in it and then moved to Dubai with it as well. So
What part do you like?
I'm probably quite a helpful person, so I quite
You're
like
quite organised as
helping.
well.
I'm very organized, yeah, and I like helping people.
Yeah.
And it's quite a fulfilling job because you have lots of little wins, and it's easy wins. So it's just, easy to feel good about your work when everything's going successfully and well. A lot.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a weird answer. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you get a lot of job satisfaction from everything going well.
I can imagine. And people are always like so happy for the help, and like you
Yeah.
just make it this job that a lot of people find so overwhelming, easy, and you're just broken it down for everyone.
Exactly. And most people are very grateful to have someone that knows what they're doing and can make everything go easily for them. Yeah.
So let's get into what pet relocation and how it all works. Can you give us like an overlying basis of kind of the general process in pet relocation, and then we'll go into country specific and so on.
Okay. So generally, what we do is we help people that are moving to Dubai and also when they're leaving Dubai, or also Abu Dhabi and the other Emirates as well. We can also assist with those guys. So we just make it as easy and smooth as possible. We complete all the paperwork. We tell them everything that they need to do. And we always tell them this is the most cost-effective way. So no matter where you're going, most of the time we can take away all of the stress and anxiety from the owners onto us so that we handle it all and it's all easy going.
So do you guys yourself, do you offer different services? Like I know some places will do like, we will take the dog and we will go to the airport. We will go to the vets. We will get the vaccines done.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like you can choose how full on you want it, or?
Exactly. So a lot of that is dependent on where you're moving to. So for example, if you're just moving to the UK, if you have a cat, you don't really need to do that many additional vet checks. So
yeah, so many people fly their cats to UK quite cheap. Not even quite cheap, but it seems like an easier
it's
cats to UK
yes,
seems quite doable.
it's very easy and doable. So depending on what you need, we can offer services to tailor to what you need specifically.
So as much help or as
As
little
much,
help as
yeah,
you want.
exactly. Some people, they're happy to drive their pets around.
Yeah.
Other people, they want them collected from the home, or whatever you want, we can handle it.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
nice there's someone, even if you're like willing to do a lot of the work yourself, it's like, I just want an expert to
Yes.
check, is this correct? Like
Exactly. We prepare everything. We even meet you there at the vet inspection.
Perfect.
Each to their own. Each to their own. A lot of people would prefer not to hand over their pet, which is totally fine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So working in this business, you might have seen what can also go wrong sometimes if you're not using a relocation company or if you're not up to date with the different rules. So what's the most common reason kind of relocations go wrong or get delayed, or what do you often see it goes wrong?
We often get inquiries from clients who last minute want to relocate.
Oh, yeah. Even in the vet clinic, someone will be like, I want to fly in 2 days.
Exactly. And I'm like, how can you be so unorganized? But actually, it happens a lot where people just need to leave the country.
Yeah.
So you need to be aware of your home country's requirements to travel. So if your vaccinations are up to date and everything's great for your pet, we can sometimes do it in 2 days. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we had a client who's moving to Spain, and we managed to do everything, and they traveled as planned. But if you're not up to date on your vaccinations, or you are moving to a country that has maybe a 7-month preparation to be able to move there, then of course you cannot.
Well, that's the thing as well. So in UAE, you have to, by law, have the rabies every year.
Yes.
But a lot of people would kind of say, oh, I don't want to do it or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe that makes sense. But the thing people have to think about when you live here is if that rabies not done every year, you're not traveling, as you said.
Yeah.
In a few weeks, or if anything goes wrong.
Exactly.
And in Dubai especially, I'm sure you know, like it's a very transient place, so that people, exactly like you said, are coming in and out. So
Yes.
being up to date with everything.
Yeah, and being transient. We have clients that move here, and then 6 months later they're moving
They're
out.
back again. Oh, with their pets again. Okay.
Yeah, because they just didn't feel the vibe here,
Yeah.
and they didn't enjoy it, and they want to go home. It's normal. So you have to just always be prepared. I think is probably the main takeaway from today's conversation.
It's going to keep coming up.
Yeah,
Be
just
prepared.
always be prepared to be ready to leave. Yeah.
Or even I have another client who lives in Australia, and she will always keep the rabies. What do they need? The rabies titer.
Tighter. Yeah.
She'd be like, I'll just keep that up to date always. Because
Exactly.
How long does that one take? So let's give people perspective for Australia. I think it's quite a complicated place to travel to, is it?
Yeah, Australia's one of the most difficult. Australia, New Zealand, most tricky. Australia, you have to have a 7-month preparation time.
Yeah.
And that starts with getting the microchip and the rabies vaccinations up to date. We then have to go to the vet and complete some microchip verification forms. And if that form is completed and the vet does the inspection prior to the rabies blood test, the RNAT, then you only have to do 10 days quarantine. If you don't do that step of getting the microchip verified, you have to do 30 days quarantine. So this is a step that a lot of people
I was going to
miss.
say people wouldn't.
They wouldn't
that,
know.
That's tough to be that organized. That like let me tell the vet to
Exactly.
do that first. Like you would assume. Kind of,
Exactly.
I'm sure the vet wouldn't necessarily tell you that. They
No
wouldn't
vet
know.
would know.
They wouldn't know.
No vet would
Yeah.
know. So that's something that, your relocator will tell you before you do anything. Let's do this microchip verification. And then, yes.
They wouldn't need that for other like European countries.
No,
This step.
this is
Okay,
something
this is
specific.
just unique to there.
Yeah.
All right.
So this came in maybe a couple of years ago now that we have to do this step. And then, for those guys, they have to then have a blood test and wait 180 days to then be able to travel.
Yeah.
And then do hopefully a 10-day quarantine or a 30-day quarantine if they miss the first steps. And there's other blood tests and treatments, and there's a whole schedule of events that go on. So yes,
It's not the easiest.
it's not the easiest, but it is if you're organized and okay, next year we're going to move home, then we can do everything in a super nice way.
And you won't feel the stress.
You won't
of
feel
it.
the
Yeah.
stress. It's when you have to suddenly leave that then the animal would have to stay behind.
And that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah,
to think
it is.
of.
It is so sad. Hopefully you've got like a nice friend or someone that
Yeah.
can help you out. Yeah.
And do you have countries then like Australia or New Zealand where you'd be kind of recommending people like, I really don't know if you should try that by yourself? Or you have other countries where you're like, if you want, I'm sure you could manage that one on yourself. That's quite simple.
Yeah, so I'm very honest with my clients. When they say to me, can we do it ourselves? I say, yes, you can. But you can also eat at a restaurant or you can eat at home. It's much nicer to eat at a restaurant than it is to eat at home, right? You have to do all the dishes and all the, hard time of preparation. So yes, you can do it yourself. I often say to my clients when it's their first time moving with a pet, because many people, they go and they come for holidays and things now as well. It's quite popular. I say, well, let me support you the first time. And then hopefully you'll learn and then you can then do it
And if
yourself.
nothing changes in the system.
Exactly. And then moving forward, you can do it yourself. Or you might just quite like that you have a service that you can trust and then you're just like, do it.
Yeah.
So,
Do it.
but I am honest with my clients. Yeah, it's not mandatory to use
So
a
everywhere
company.
you'd be kind of like, you could do it yourself.
Yes. I mean, to be honest, there's a couple airlines which will only book through agents, but it's
I've heard this is it in the Philippines now? I don't know. There was someone traveling from the Philippines recently and they had a big issue trying to do it by themselves because like airlines wouldn't speak to you unless you were an agency or something like this. Yeah.
I'm not sure about Philippines specifically, but there are a few countries where you have to book through an agent and a few airlines where they will only work with an agent. But generally, no, you can do it yourself if you want to. If you want to give yourself the hard time, when you're leaving Dubai, you don't want to be stressed for your last couple of weeks. You want to be enjoying, seeing your friends, having goodbye parties,
Yeah.
not stressed
Little
about
by
the
animal,
animals.
make it out of you.
Yeah, have I done something wrong? So
Fair
yeah.
enough. So, okay, what paperwork or rule do people often misunderstand?
I guess a really common one is because for many countries, the vaccinations have to be done at least 21 days before, up to a year.
Yeah.
A lot of people, clients, read that as 21 days before, I must do the vaccination.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's not the case.
Now
It
you've
should
just-
always
Yeah.
be up to date.
But maybe that's confusing for people because is it with the worming that is actually like a week before or something, or some countries or 2
It
weeks?
depends where you're going to.
Okay.
Yes, a lot of countries don't even require worming. That's actually a big misconception. A lot of
Ah.
people think we have to do worming
Yeah.
for everywhere. They go to the vet to do a health certificate. And then the vet's like, do you need the worming? And the client's like,
I guess.
I don't know. So then the vet gives it anyway, which is totally fine because it's worming.
Probably
you should
you're
give
doing it every month
Probably
anyhow.
due. Probably not been done anyway for a few months. So that's fine. But yeah, a lot of the time there are things that are unnecessary. And if you're on a budget, that's adding unnecessary expense.
Or let's say you weren't doing the health certificate and you've gone to the vet now for your deworming.
Yeah.
And that was an extra little trip. Yeah.
The something that happens a lot is clients, they think going to the normal vet is enough when you actually have to go to the ministry vet, the official vets.
Oh, yeah.
So we have here approved vets, which is our modern vets, our Blue Oasis vets, Vienna vets. They're all approved. They're not official. So that's the difference. Travel documents can only be completed by official vets, aka ministry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's which vets are those? Or it's just you, the ministry vet?
The ministry vets, so they're located on all the ports. So the
okay, yeah, yeah.
airport, each airport has one. Even the land border crossings, those ports, they also have ministry vets there.
Okay. Some
Yeah.
people would not know that either.
No, it's a big thing that does go wrong. Yeah.
Okay, can you share an example actually when something small ended up being a big issue?
Something small.
Or maybe not that small, maybe something just missed.
Yeah, so one thing that is small but is huge is vets giving out-of-date vaccinations to animals.
Does that happen often?
It happens. It happened actually a couple of weeks ago. I had a animal coming in from somewhere in Europe, and I always check the batch number and the date of the expiry of that vaccination. And it was given after the expiry date. Therefore, it's technically, although it's probably a couple of weeks, it's probably fine. It's actually avoided vaccination. Yeah. So when we're compliance checking documents, this is something that I'm checking is all of these small details and dates. If that animal had arrived, it wasn't the rabies, I think it was a DHP. What would have happened was on arrival, the ministry vet would have noted that, and then we would have had to have gotten a normal vet authorized, like from Modern or whichever, to come to the airport, give the vaccination again, and then the pet could then enter. So that's something that would happen.
That would also be adding on to costs as
That
well.
would be very costly, yeah. Especially because most animals arrive in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So you either have the option of getting a vet to come out and pay a huge call-out fee, or the animal would have to wait until the vet has time to go. So that could be, midday the next day. Yeah.
Whenever, yeah. Wow. Yeah, that is a good example.
And
of
it would
something
still
tiny.
be a huge call-out fee. And also the animal would then be in distress. So
Yeah, they've already been in the crate for
They've already
however
been in the
long,
crate
and
for
you're
a
just
long
waiting
time.
for them to get
Yeah.
out, and then you add on 10 hours, of course.
yeah.
There was something a while back, I'm not completely familiar if it's still a thing, but there was at some point a lot of issues with people. They would do I don't know which the order was, but they would either do the rabies vaccine before the microchip.
Yeah.
And that was like another thing. Even they were a puppy, you don't think about flying.
Yeah.
But we've done their vaccines, we microchipped him 6 months later, or whenever you did it.
Yeah.
And now 4 or 5 years later, you want to travel with your pet, and this is void as well, is it? Or
No, not
you
if
need a
it's
new passport, or
not if it's 4 or 5 years later, because then
Okay.
you'll have had vaccinations every year since.
okay, so then you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So only the most recent rabies in most cases is the only one that really matters. But that's a good point, actually. It does happen where puppies they are microchipped generally. I'm not so concerned with that because most vets, they are good and they do give it at the same time. But sometimes they give the vaccination before the animal is 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So if they're 11 weeks and 6 days, technically the vaccination's void. they have to be 12 weeks.
Ah.
So that's another example of something small that could go very wrong.
Yeah, and I also see, like, I don't know if that's a bit off topic, but when breeders are bringing dogs in here, they're always kind of the wrong, they have like the stamp of the vaccine, but it like never quite matches up because they've tried to kind of bypass this rule or something with the age.
Yes. So we don't really work with breeders. But if somebody wants to buy their pet from outside and bring it in, no problem. But what I do normally say is, unless you've seen that vaccination being given with your own eyes, you cannot believe it's true.
Yeah.
So therefore, you should probably do it again.
Yeah, that's what they say in the clinic as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Giving the correct advice then. But yes, and it does happen where clients bring in animals and they're
He was
supposed
also
to have
relocated.
been... Yeah, you came in, little teeths. I've lost my thought process now because you
He's like,
distracted
guys,
me.
excuse me.
What was I
please."
talking about?
I also got distracted.
Animals, they come in and they have to travel to somewhere else. They need the rabies blood test, and then they fail the blood test because the vaccination was either not given or they were too young when it was given. So it is a problem with puppies. Should we just do that part again? Because I think we missed the whole point of the topic.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
We'll keep it.
Okay. Yes. Yes, puppies coming in from other countries, let's just say, get them revaccinated.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, you can potentially fail tests down the line as a result of being...
Yeah, because they never had the full accurate vaccine.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe you've kind of already mentioned that, but what's one thing you wish owners knew before contacting a relocator?
So I don't know where you want to go with this question, but my immediate response when I was reading the prep was a lot of clients don't even know the breed of their pet.
Yeah.
Or the weight of their pet.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, which it sounds ridiculous, but you've got no idea how many clients I speak to. And I'm like, oh, what kind of cat do you have?
Oh, the cats. That's why I was like, I feel like most people kind of know the dog. Depends if it's
No,
really mixed.
they
But the cats, no one ever knows.
They don't. No, cats are just like, I don't
Fluffy.
know, a normal cat. I'm like, yeah, but cats are always a breed. So tell me what breed it is.
No one knows
they,
cat
they
breeds.
never know their breeds. And I'm like, come on, help me out here. Because based on what the breed is.
Photo?
Yeah, exactly. I asked, please WhatsApp me a photo. And then we're on the phone and I can see. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Because the breed of your pet will determine the advice that I give and which direction we go. So I do need to know these details about the age, the weight, breed, very important.
Yeah, I was going to say the breed could be a whole different topic, but what are some of the kind of big issues that come up with certain breeds, cats and dogs?
Well,
especially in Dubai, you have a lot of banned breeds that people wouldn't know about, maybe.
To be honest, we don't have that many issues with banned breeds. There aren't. I know people say, oh, we see them, but we don't really have that many instances where they're being shipped.
In or out, though?
Well,
they're probably not
obviously,
coming in because
we're not bringing them in, that's for sure.
But I mean, I think that's the issue when people want to come here with their dog and it's on the banned list and they don't know.
Yeah, so there's the issue of coming in and leaving. So for coming in, we just say, no, I'm sorry, they're banned.
Yeah.
And I get it.
And what are some of those, off the top of your head, banned breeds that people should know about?
Mastiffs, anything kind of in the Mastiff family, the Cane Corsos, the Staffies, obviously pit bulls, these kinds of dogs. They are the fighting dogs, the what they call Japanese Tosas. I mean, I've never seen one. I only have ever read it on a banned breeds list. These kinds of pets are banned. There is the loophole which people are trying to use.
Service dogs?
Service dogs.
Yeah, I always see people asking, like, how can I get my dog?
And I just don't entertain it. I'm like, clearly this is not a service pet. You're trying to bring it in a bad way, so we don't help with that because it takes away from the clients that actually do need service animals. And yeah, some clients will have service animals that genuinely these breeds, but the majority, no. The majority, they're just trying to find a loophole to bring in their pet, so we won't assist. But yeah, when it comes to them leaving, they can leave, but they will never be able to return.
Okay, I actually didn't know that they could leave because I know a lot of people panic if you've had the dog here before the ban or something came in.
Yeah,
they can leave.
They can leave. However, they have to travel only on certain airlines which will accept them.
Scotch. He didn't like that.
He doesn't like the big dogs. Only on certain airlines that will accept them. And they normally have to go, well, majority of them will go in a box that is designed for dangerous animals. So
Ah,
instead of being the normal carrier that you
yeah.
see, it'll be wooden and it'll be reinforced. And it will have a double
Okay.
door,
Wow, I didn't know
just
that.
as
Yeah.
an extra layer of protection.
Wow. So Dubai specific reality check, because there is different rules in Dubai to other countries, I'm going to assume. Give me relax, Scotch. You're going to get kicked out.
So the way that it works in the world is you have kind of categories of countries. So we're one category for this country, we're considered another category. So it's all grouped together. The UAE is considered high risk by some countries and low risk by
yeah.
others.
This is for the rabies. Would it
Yeah.
be this one? Yeah.
So we're actually pretty blessed that we're considered low risk in the majority of cases. Dubai specific, leaving, there's nothing that major, depending on where you're going to. The majority of the times, it's absolutely fine.
So I had this issue actually bringing him in, and a lot of people might also have this issue of Dubai, the summer.
The summer, yeah.
The summer
heat.
season to travel. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to really think, do you want to land in Dubai with your dog midday in August? No.
Yeah. So actually, to be honest, most of our animals that arrive, they arrive during the night.
Yeah, he came in the night. Yeah.
Exactly. So, for example, last night we had animals arriving at around 10 p.m.
Is that done on purpose somehow, or that's just how it all kind of...
It just works out.
It just worked out.
Yeah. From London, there's like 3-4 flights a day. So you have...
Or people maybe choose then if it's the...
Yeah, you have options. But for most of our flights, they always land in the late night. It's only really Kuwait and Russia flights that land in the afternoon.
And then you'd have to think...
Well, then it is what it is.
Would you recommend people to still travel? Like in the summer, probably it depends again, like you said, on the breed.
Yes, so it depends on the breed. So a lot of the breeds just cannot.
Okay, yeah. Let's explain that to people. So there's some breeds that are banned from flying in the summer.
Yeah, so the airlines have restrictions for their safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which breeds would these be?
So it's your brachycephalic breeds. So for cats, you've got your Persians, your Himalayans, your exotics, your British, anything with a small little nose.
Snub nose.
Yeah. And then for your dogs, most commonly, you've got your high risk. The most high risk is your Frenchies, pugs, any bulldog, Boston Terriers. They're kind of the highest risk. And then you have your Shih Tzus and then mixes of those breeds, which are also considered to be high risk.
And you see people, you kind of mentioned about the breeds, but you see people, I think I've heard of this, people kind of playing around with the breeds to fit into kind of flying times.
They try.
Yeah, but I guess if it doesn't look like one, maybe you can get away with it. But if it is the French bulldog, it's a French bulldog, and it's gonna
exactly
be classified as French bulldog.
This is a very old school way of thinking. Those days are over now. When we're shipping animals as cargo, we have to provide pictures of the animals. So
okay, so there's no
and also I know.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm asking for information from a client, when they confirm that we're going to be helping them, whether they're coming in or leaving, I ask for a picture.
Yeah.
Because for the breed, they will try and trick you. Not all. That's unfair. Some may try and trick you and bring in an animal that's from the banned list, saying it's a Labrador.
Oh yeah, it's
mix,
a Labrador cross. Yeah,
and actually it's a
Little
Staffordshire Bull
Yes,
Terrier.
yes.
No. So yes, that's something from experience that I do now. When I have had years ago, clients trying to play tricks on me.
Well, actually, even for him, I don't know his breed, which I know you're like saying, laughing at people who don't know his breed.
Exactly.
I really don't know his breed.
I have a dog as well that I don't know the breed. I just guess.
So initially on his passport, it was like mixed, like even the vet wrote some kind of mixed breed. And then when I tried to travel with him, they're like, no, you have to put a breed. So
the dominant breed.
Yeah.
So
we called him a Chihuahua.
Exactly.
But I don't...
You can always more or less guess the most dominant breed.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Mine's the same. I just say Chihuahua mix. So you have to give the two dominant breeds. And you just have to try your best.
Chihuahua Terrier, I think I called
Exactly. That's
but
like
I
mine.
would stick with that, yeah.
Yeah, Chihuahua mixed with
I need to see a photo
terrier.
of your dog after.
Oh, she's very ugly. I have two. They're very ugly, but they're very sweet. They also both travelled here. So,
Okay.
But yes, you just have to try your best with the most dominant breeds.
And that would work.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a little quiz. Would this fly? And
Okay.
you can be like, yeah, it would fly, or no, this doesn't fly.
Okay.
Or however you want to answer it.
Okay.
So the dog was vaccinated last week and they want to fly next week. Does it fly or no?
Vaccinated for the first time or as a booster?
Clarify for us which would fly or not.
If it's a booster, it's fine.
No problem. Okay.
If it's the first
First
time,
time.
no.
No, it's out.
Class.
Done. Snub-nosed breed traveling in the summer.
No, if it's a big snub nose. If it's a smaller one, like a cat, or most of the dogs are a bit bigger. If it's a cat, then potentially it could travel in the cabin, depending on where you're moving to.
Okay.
So sometimes we have a little bit of an option.
Bit of leeway with it.
Yeah.
The owner wants to fly first and the pet wants to follow later. Can people do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite common, actually.
Yeah, it's very common. That's a majority of our
Especially
business.
for people relocating to Dubai, I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Just to
No.
come fly, like you said, try it out for a few months, then send
That's
your dog.
very common. A lot of clients will come here, they'll sort it out. The husband will come first, he'll get the villa, get everything ready, and then the family will follow. Or, of course, the wife will come first, and then the
Whoever,
husband
yeah.
will follow. Just getting everything ready. That's very normal. And also, a lot of clients will wait until the winter to fly them out
Yeah, makes sense.
if they are worried about
Yeah.
the heat. Yeah.
Can a large dog fly with multiple layovers?
So, most destinations will only ever be one layover, in which case we would use, for example, KLM, Lufthansa, Air France, depending on where you're going to. There aren't many destinations which require multiple layovers. If you're going somewhere Latino, like some far place in Argentina, then the airline will not go all that way to the third destination
Just a
without
different airline
changing
now,
carrier.
yeah.
So what we do in those cases is, for example, if it's a cat going to Buenos Aires where we cannot get a direct option, we would use an airline such as KLM or Air France. They would have the hop in Europe and then they would go to Buenos Aires and then they would be offloaded. They would be customs cleared. They would be arriving into
Right, so
Buenos
that's a
Aires.
separate kind of
And
country
then-
we've got to do import and export into, or
and
not
then they would
necessarily?
have an extra flight, domestic flight. So we would have a company there who would then organize the next part of the travel.
Okay,
So I can normally get them 90% of the way, but it's not very often that
we
these
can't do the
cases.
full way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And last one, pet is missing one vaccine, but otherwise very healthy.
The rabies vaccine.
Whichever is
So, yeah, you need the rabies vaccination.
rabies is 100%.
100%.
And the DHPPI, let's say,
It depends where you're moving
depends.
to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. More and more countries are adding it to the list. To move to the UAE, you have to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the cats have to have the tri-cat or whatever name you give to it.
To Europe, do they need to have it? Just
Not
curious.
officially.
Not officially. Yeah. That's the one.
However,
Yeah, okay.
of course you should.
Okay.
Your airline may say, no, we're not accepting because we don't have this vaccination.
Oh, so the airline can, if
They
the country
can-
has the law that that's all we need, the
Yeah.
airline can still kind of
Yeah.
give the final say of like, we're
Yeah.
not accepting though.
Yeah, I had it with a pet going to Brazil once. The airline, I think it was Emirates, they were like, oh, this vaccination's not done. And I said, no, it's not, but actually it's not required. And I managed to push it through because the owner was really adamant that they didn't want the pet vaccinating again. So anyway, they did accept it. But yeah,
That's
it
tricky.
is.
Yeah.
It is tricky. Anyway, it's not really an issue because the vaccinations are always given together every year.
Yeah.
So it's
You'll just have it done.
yeah, you have it done.
All right. So I want to get a bit into the cost, stress, and expectations.
Okay.
So the cost.
It depends. It depends. It depends where you're moving to. If you've got a small dog or a huge dog,
One dog or five.
one dog
yeah.
or five, 3 cats, 3 dogs. You know,
But does it like, is this true, or maybe it's not even true? It's not necessarily twice expensive if you have 2 dogs.
no, it's not. It's not. A lot of the costs are shared costs.
Yeah.
The majority of the cost is on the first head, and then additional heads are not that much extra.
Yeah, I think that's reassuring for people. If I
Yeah.
have 3 dogs, it's not like it's 3 times
Exactly.
this. Like,
exactly.
it'll be a bit more, but maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. It is a little more. When I have clients who are rescuing animals,
Yeah.
and they've seen this cat that they really love and they want to send it to their brother in America, I say, well, why don't you just send 2 cats? Because
not send
if he's got this farm anyway,
Yeah.
it's only going to cost you an extra little bit. Just send another one
So
as
many
well.
stray cats here as well.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
I'm like,
nice that
just send
you're
another
pushing
one.
them all up.
Yeah, trying, helping. Every little helps.
The rescue centers.
Yeah, but no, there are additional costs, but it's not too crazy.
And do you find people, by the way, they have an unrealistic price in their mind, or people are surprised with the cost of pet relocation? Do you find that, or not really?
Yeah, so it works both ways. Some clients will think, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy expensive. I'm not paying that. And others are like, oh, that's actually really fine. I'm like, yeah, it's not that bad actually when you do it in the correct way. There's a lot of bad advice on the internet. This is
What's the worst bad advice you've seen?
No, I always have clients who have done unnecessary tests because they read it on whatever social
Facebook group or something.
Group, or ChatGPT is giving incorrect advice.
Yep.
So clients are actually wasting money, which could be better spent by hiring us to then take away all their stress. Yeah.
Fair enough. Which costs are really unavoidable? Like, we can't play around with that. Like, I'm sure there's some stuff you're like, we could maybe skip that, or I don't know.
So you have your things like your vaccinations, microchips, travel carriers, health certificates. They're all unavoidable.
Yeah.
Avoidable would be, as I just mentioned,
unnecessary
tests, which they read online, or unnecessary certificates that aren't required, unnecessary treatments, parasite treatments that aren't required. I mean, parasite treatments is here and all there. You can give them. But a lot of clients do, unnecessary things. And sometimes also when they're booking flights themselves, for example, if they just would like our help with the papers, I'm like, well, why have you booked that flight? That's a really expensive airline. Why didn't you go with this?
Yeah.
Why have you chosen that carrier for your dog? It's 2 sizes too big. It's going to cost you an extra 8,000 dirham.
Okay, that's a great example of an unavoidable or avoidable cost.
Yeah.
So the size of the carrier.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So having the correct size carrier. Sometimes clients call me and they don't take my service, which is fine, but I'm leaving the conversation. I'm like, well, I've just saved them 4,000 dirham just from having this conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I could save you more if you book.
Exactly. That's actually a very key point is when clients contact me, I always say, this is the most cost-effective way. If you don't want to do it that way, that's totally fine. Then we have the other options, but this is the easiest cost-effective way. So
that's nice to have the transparency.
I always try. Convenience-wise, a lot of clients are, no, I'm happy to pay. Let's do it this way. No problem.
And I like what you said, that you have the option of, like, we can either do absolutely everything, which a lot of people would like take the dog and do everything. And a lot of people prefer the option of, like, I just want you to kind of make sure I've done everything correct. And that's another way people can choose kind of what budget works for them.
Exactly. And the funny thing is that when clients want to half manage it themselves, it's actually harder for me. Because then I have to manage the client and the
two-dog thing.
I'm like, no, it's easier for me if I just handle everything. I trialed it a few times doing split service, and really, I should actually charge them more than less.
Yeah, it's not less work for you guys.
It's not a good business model. It's more stressful for us. But I mean, there's always ways to, if clients are happy to do a lot of running around and they are in a financial pickle, we are happy to kind of meet them in the middle, so to speak. Yeah.
Nice. And do you find that the relocation itself is very stressful for pets? Would you kind of have situations, even I know I have a lot of clients that want to travel for the summer, and sometimes they're only going for a few weeks and they want to travel with the dog. Do you have situations where you're like, that might be a bit too short of a trip?
Yeah.
For what you're asking?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I have no issue saying to clients, no, that's ridiculous.
Ah.
Yeah.
In which examples? Like, what's the most extreme you've
I
heard?
want to take my cat to, I don't know, any country for a week.
Yeah.
Why would you? A cat wants to stay at home. They're not animals that will then go to their country and then have amazing hikes. They're going to literally be sat in a house.
I'm kind of terrified for the first few weeks
and
anyhow,
be
because it's a new place. Yeah.
Exactly. So whenever a client wants to take their cat on holiday, I'm like, really? Unless it's for a month at least.
Yeah.
Plus,
I can't, even a month. Yeah.
even a month, I would ideally say 2 months. Because of the stress that cats go through and they're so sensitive, it's just not worth it for their well-being. For me, it's great because it's easy business. send them out, bring
See you
them back
back in
in
a week,
again.
yeah.
Yeah, see you back in a week. No issues, but it's a lot for the animal. So I always prioritize the animal. But yeah, that happens a lot where clients have unrealistic expectations. One, because they don't understand the amount of work that goes into sending them out and bringing them back, but also the emotional distress on the pet.
Yeah. So that's kind of my next question. Are there times where you advise them not to relocate the pet, and it'd be for these kind of short travels mainly, would you say?
Yeah, mostly it's short travels. If you're going to a country that has a quarantine requirement, so for example,
South Africa, do they still have it, or?
Yes, South Africa for dogs.
Oh, just for doggies.
Yeah, and it's not that bad. So that's a different. We're going to go off on a tangent now.
Yeah.
South Africa. This is how my head always is. South Africa, they land on a Monday morning, whether it's Joburg or Cape Town. They have the blood tests done. So all the blood tests that they have pre-travel, they have to have them repeated again in South Africa. So they have them repeated on the Monday morning, and then the results are released on Friday afternoon. Once you have those results, then the animal can leave.
Oh.
So if you don't arrive on the Monday, say you arrive on the Tuesday.
You'll not get it to the next.
Exactly.
Wow.
Or we could maybe try and get the vet out to take the blood as an additional charge, which is probably doable. But for example, on the Wednesday, I don't think you would. And basically it's then, the following week, Friday. But yeah, like Singapore has 30 days, cats and dogs. Australia, at least 10 days, could be 30 days if you don't do everything in the correct way. They're the big ones. New Zealand's also, can't even remember now, I think it's 10 days.
And I've never seen these quarantine centers. Would it be something that you would tell clients to kind of like, or it's not necessarily something to put them off? I don't know.
Well, look, it depends. The private quarantine centres, like in New Zealand, they are more like official facilities that are approved by their government to be used, and they're beautiful.
Okay.
But that's the only example I can think of. In most cases, it's I'm not saying it's prison camp, but it's a clean environment, sterile environment, not sterile, but it's close to sterile, like everything's clean and not prison-like, but it's not a holiday camp, but it's fine.
Yeah, if you're moving for good, I would say.
You have to.
That's a step and they'll be fine. Yeah. But if you're, again, thinking of like a 6 months little travel, it's like, do you want to do all this just for...
Exactly. No, if you're going, you wouldn't go for a holiday.
To do New Zealand or something.
Exactly. Okay. It would only be for a permanent move. Yeah.
All right. And we'll wrap it up a bit. Vets and relocation companies, what is the crossover? You work quite closely with the vets then.
Yes. So I think we have around 60 vets, more or less. So they are always calling me and asking me questions.
And would you say it's a big benefit as a pet relocation company to
Yes.
be working alongside vets compared to kind of not being?
Yeah, it's a benefit for them and it's a benefit for us.
Yeah.
But yes, when the vets have so much knowledge, but they don't have knowledge about relocation.
And that surprises people, but it's like, of course, they're not your relocators.
Exactly.
They have very limited knowledge on it.
Very
It's just-
limited. And I would rather they said nothing. I would rather they just said nothing. Please call this lady. She's very nice.
I know
She
that
will
it's a
help
huge
you.
problem in the clinic. Like a lot of people, you're trying to help, and you're like, no, I think you just need that. But then people kind of cling on to like, well, someone in the vets told me that's what I need.
Exactly. And then it's just better to hand it straight to us.
Yeah.
And then we tell you, get this done at the vet. But yeah, there is a crossover. Of course, we're using the vets for parasite treatments when they're needed, blood tests when they're needed. A big one is the fit to flies.
Yeah.
So not all airlines require them, but some require them. And also the brachycephalic fit to flies.
Okay.
So when animals, the brachy breeds do fly, they have to have an additional health check, which they have to pass. And that's completed by our vets. And that involves, for some breeds, a 3-minute run and then being monitored on recovery.
Okay.
Yes. And then, of course, examining their nose and their lungs and heart and everything. It's distracting me now.
He's not even in the view.
He's not even in the view. Sorry, there's a little dog down there. So we do have crossover with the vet. And another point there is, If the vet doesn't think the animal's not safe to travel, then I take their advice and I say to the client, I'm sorry, this animal's not going
Do you
anywhere.
see that a lot of senior pets?
To
Or is
be
it
honest,
just unhealthy, not
it's
necessarily
unhealthy.
senior? Okay.
I'm not so worried about age as long as you're healthy. When a client rings me and, oh, I've got my animal's 12, is the pet healthy? Is it doing all right? Yeah, it's good, Then no problem.
Would it be a reason for you to recommend like cargo versus in the flight with them?
In the
or-
cabin. That's normally breed dependent.
Okay. More than age.
More
Okay.
than age, yeah, because only small pets can go in the cabin.
I'm glad mine's on the edge. I'm like, we need to lose weight if we're.
Yeah, I think
If we're traveling
you're a
again.
bit tall. A
He
bit
came
tall.
here no, he wasn't in the cabin actually because it was into Dubai, which they're not allowed
Yeah,
into the cabin,
yeah.
which is very upsetting.
Yeah. I have this conversation every day with clients who are very upset about this. Just the way it is.
Do you think it will change actually?
I don't know.
way
It's been a
pet
few
relocations,
years
yeah.
now. It's been a few years.
Because for people who don't know, Etihad's recently in the last 2-3 years was it? Put
Yeah.
Pets in cabin
Yeah, so
for a
Etihad,
lovely price.
Oh,
Like tripled overnight.
it didn't triple. It
It put
times
a
by
zero,
10.
yeah.
They put a zero on the end. Yeah.
So I think just to explain to people, it was $150
in the beginning, it was
to go in the
100.
cabin.
The
Someone maybe
first
made a
summer-
mistake on
The
that.
first summer, it was $150, and everyone was doing
Everyone
it.
was
And this is
flying.
brilliant.
Yeah. So
And
I was like, I'll go.
yeah, I thought, oh, this is great. Yeah. And then the following summer, it was $1,500.
And that's just for the seat. That's not for, or not even the seat. That's for your space. For the
Yeah,
dog.
that's just for the pet. That's not for your ticket. Your
Or for
ticket's on
anything,
top.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite pricey. That is my only thing I wish they would fix here. Because if you think of in Europe, the flights to fly a dog around Europe are
It's
just
€100.
it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But pet travel is a luxury.
Yeah.
It's not a necessity unless you're leaving the country.
That's
so,
well said, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it could be cheaper, but also it's a luxury item. So it comes with a cost, and that's the price that the airline have given it. And
Yeah.
people are paying it, clients are paying it. So Turkish also accept, and I think Middle Eastern are now accepting as well.
In
so
the cabin.
In cabin into Abu Dhabi. So more and more.
Well, actually, before I ask you your key takeaway, I'm just curious. Do you have like a most pet friendly airline that you're like, they're great? I would recommend, like, if you can choose this airline.
Yeah, so I have, of course, Emirates is always going to be a favorite because they're here and they're brilliant and they fly to so many places.
Yeah.
Turkish also have an amazing network, and in their hub in Istanbul, they have these lovely little pet rooms.
the pet hotel. Yeah.
Little pet rooms for cats and dogs where they have the litter trays, they have food, water, everything, and it's super clean. So if you're flying where you have to do a transit, Turkish is a great
place to
option.
stop. Okay.
Yeah, great
Amazing.
option. Very cost effective. The costs are okay, and the flights are normally, they fly so many places. It's, I think, one of the biggest networks.
You can go anywhere.
So yeah, Turkish is a really good option. But then, depending on where you're going to, I will say to you, oh, I recommend this airline
Yeah.
specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I already know it, but then what's your biggest takeaway from today for people listening? What would you like them to
Okay.
really keep in mind?
Preparation.
Yeah, close up.
Don't believe everything that you read online about pet
I'm glad
travel.
you mentioned about the ChatGPT because it's just it's not nonsense, but it's not at all accurate.
It's not. There is a place for it. It is
Yeah.
brilliant, and sometimes I find myself asking a cheeky little question. But you do need to take the advice of professionals, not the advice of a AI. And just plan as far ahead as possible. So it actually saves you money as well. One of the things that we didn't touch on was the
There's so many things we didn't touch on, but I'm like, I could ask you a million more questions. But I'm just like,
Is if you're organized and you contact us 6 weeks, we can actually a lot of the time get you better prices, better
Wow.
rates than if you leave it to the last minute. So just try and be organized. Like, we're trying to help you to get the best value for money and best experience. So for us to do that, the client needs to be organized. So yeah, I think being prepared, being organized, not listening to the internet, keeping the vaccinations up to date at all times, and just keeping your pet fit and healthy. And if you have a breed that's brachycephalic, you should be aware of that.
Yeah,
And also,
know your
you need to
dates, know
plan
your times.
accordingly
Yeah.
by traveling only in the winter.
Okay. That's such good advice for people. And this was
Good.
so helpful for me. I'm not planning on traveling anytime soon, but I'm like, now I feel less stressed about it if I need to.
There's nothing to be stressed about. If you're organized, and it's totally fine.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
You're welcome.
And for everyone listening, join us next week for another episode.